We are going to cover about AWS Lambda. In few of the fewer videos, we already have gone through and we actually saw just about AWS Lambda. But since it is one of the important topic from AWS point of view, we are going to cover this on a dedicated video and here it go. Okay, so in this specific one, we are going to see the theoretical aspect about AWS Lambda, what actually AWS Lambda is, how does it works, all right, and what are the key concept behind AWS Lambda, right? And in the following video, we are going to actually see the demonstration. We are going to do an hands-on on AWS Lambda. So yeah, here we go. Let us cover the theoretical first and here we go. So basically AWS Lambda is a computing service that lets you to run the code without provisioning or managing the services. Now, what do I mean by that? So basically, let's take a very vague example. Okay, so whenever you want to run any sort of service, right? Whenever you want to host any sort of application, so what are the things that we are doing right now, right? The first thing would be we are going to first create an instance, launch the instance, then we do the basic configuration, whatever is required. Post that, what we are doing is we are hosting the application. This is the basic thing that we have been doing so far, right? But here there is one catch. See, when the application is idle, meaning when there is no traffic generated, at that specific time also you are still paying the amount for the servers which are currently not in use, right? So here AWS Lambda comes into the pictures and actually helps you to save your cost. How? Basically, whenever any traffic, okay, is getting generated in your website, at that specific point AWS Lambda will get triggered, and on those for specifically for those calls it will charge you, right? So here you will definitely pay for the service that you are using, right? You don't need to worry about if the server is idle or not. Everything will be managed here at the back end. You will just pay for the amount of traffic which is hitting in the server, right? Here you don't need to manage the EC2 instance. It will be managed by AWS Lambda itself. So here the functions are written in such a way that whenever a traffic come at that specific point, only you are supposed to pay the amount, right? With AWS Lambda, you can run the code for the virtual application. Now, what do I mean by the virtual application? Here I am referring to the backend services with zero administration things, whatever you need to do, right? No configurations required. AWS Lambda manages all the administration tasks and actually it manages few of the things which I have listed in this PDF. So the first thing is provisioning and capacity of compute fleet that offers a balance of memory, CPU, and other network resources, right? Second is server and OS maintenance. Since you are just dealing with the function, you are actually not provisioning any computing resource and you are not supposed to maintain the OS and server, right? Here it will take care of high availability and automatic scaling, monitoring fleet health, apply security patches, deploying code, monitoring and logging. Okay, so that can also be done through Lambda functions. And also one more point, if you are thinking, can we trigger Lambda through a Lambda function? The answer is 100% yes. AWS Lambda runs your codes on high availability compute infrastructure, right? So let us cover few of the things regarding AWS Lambda. Okay, AWS Lambda runs your code on high availability computing infrastructure. It actually executes your code only and only when needed and scales automatically from few requests per day to 1,000 requests per second. Okay, you are only paying for the computing time you are consuming. No extra charge needed when the code is idle or is not running, right? So that's what I mentioned earlier. Okay, so all you need to do is supply your code in the form of one or more Lambda functions to AWS in the language which are supported by it. So what sort of languages are supported? So here basically Java, Ruby, C Sharp, PowerShell, Python, Node.js. So these sort of languages are supported by AWS Lambda for now. Okay, you can go to the AWS Lambda section and you can actually see the language supported. However, I'll be showing you those lists of option in the coming video. Okay, so yeah, these are the things that you can do and the Lambda will work on your behalf. Typically, the lifecycle of AWS Lambda is based on application, which includes authorizing the code, deploying the code to AWS Lambda. If you want to manage your own compute, then you can use AWS EC2 or Elastic Beanstalk. But condition provided, here you will be paying for the server even if the machine is idle or no traffic is generated. generated. But when it comes to Lambda, it is only charging you when the traffic is generated, right? Whenever you're calling that function, right, at the get. Now, how does this Lambda thing works, right? So first of all, you need to upload your code to Lambda in one or more Lambda function. Then AWS Lambda will execute your code on behalf of you. After the code is invoked, Lambda automatically take care of provisioning and maintaining the services, right? So when does Lambda triggers? Okay, and when Lambda triggers, what are the things which are happening at the back end? Okay, so first we are going to cover these points which I have written, and in order to support all the points which I have written, there is one diagram which will make the concept clearer for us, right? You can use AWS Lambda to run your code in response to the events. Now, those events could be get event, put event, post event, delete event, okay, any sort of events. Events such as changing data into Amazon S3 bucket or DynamoDB table, okay. So when we take example of Amazon S3 bucket, so basically what sort of actions a user can do, right? He can read the objects, okay, he can delete the objects, he can overwrite the objects, okay, these sort of objects, right? And those actions are certainly known as events, okay. So to run your code in response to the HTTP request using Amazon API gateway, basically this will actually help us uh, uh, in actually understanding the events are happening, right? So here Amazon API will actually comes into the picture, which will actually tell us that some events are occurring over there. And for in order to check AWS whether these things are working in that specific service, how would we it know? So basically, we are already aware that these services are isolated from each other. So what we are going to do is there is one IAM service on services level, so those services we are going to give access, and then only the Lambda will know that some events are actually happening on S3, right? With these capabilities, you can use the Lambda to easily build data processing triggers for AWS services like Amazon S3, DynamoDB, and processing streaming data which is stored in Kinesis. Okay, you can even create your own backend that operates as AWS scale, and performance and security are also covered, right? So let us take an example. So let's consider you are this user, okay, and you have configured your Lambda, right? So whenever you are uploading any uploading any file in your S3 bucket, okay, now here we are considering that the IAM IAM service is configured, right? So when I say IAM services, so basically S3 or Lambda is given the permission to read the S3, okay. And here what is happening is whenever we are uploading meaning whenever we are doing any put or post, at this specific time, Lambda is getting triggered, and this Lambda function will actually tell us that event has occurred and things will done accordingly. Whatever definitions we have defined in that specific Lambda function. Okay. Now, what are the use cases? So basically, Lambda functions can be used and can be ideal for data processing. Can be used for IoT services. So basically, it can process in response to the events which we actually receive from the IoT device. So it can be a boon for IoT processes, and it can be used for scheduling tasks. So basically, if you are doing some repetitive work, okay, so basically with the use of Lambda with CloudWatch, you can actually use those specific scheduled events, and you can trigger the Lambda function with the help of cron, right? So yeah, that was all about Lambda function, and see you in the next one.